4 different AI art generation services, and one will be DALL-E 2, another ones will be Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and Disc Diffusion. So we'll see what they can provide, how the interface access, and most importantly, we'll look also how the text prompts work and what they all can give to us, how close they can be to the text what we describe. So let's go ahead and start with the DALL-E 2. And DALL-E 2, it's a service that you actually need to get invitation, you need to apply, wait for about month, 2 months, and when available, they will send you invitation, you can join it. When you join DALL-E 2, you will have 50 credits. They can use it to render text prompt to the images AI generated. Each prompt will provide 4 images and it's consume about 1 credit. So technically you can create about 200 images with only 4 per each variation image. You can also buy credits now additional, which is cost about $15 for 115 credits, I think. Then you can use it, and if you run out, you can purchase more if you need it. Next is, let's look on UI. So overall, DALL-E 2 UI is very primitive. When you first join, you can see you come up kind of like a community feed. I don't know how they select these images, but generally you can preview what other people was created, what prompt they did it, and you have options where you can type in your prompt, click generate it, or upload image if you want it, and I'll check in a second, show you, and you can go from that point. When you do create, you will have the page with all these versions whatever you create on your right side, and as you select it in the main window, you can preview. You can click on an image to make its maximum. It is 1024 by 1024, and this is maximum size you can render. Some limitation applied to this. You cannot specify how much details you want it or steps can process, so it's have some already predefined for you. You just can type, click, and it's render. So it is simplicity is very nice, but again, it is a limitation to some creators on how much details you want to process. For me, the biggest minuses in all this interface, again, I just put text, I cannot specify ratio, and it's always will come with a square. So I cannot do panoramic or portrait mode, I cannot specify that. I will need it after crop if I want to do this, which is not always will work very well. As well, I cannot really going and sort through images I created through the tags and so on, and if I accidentally click new, it will erase all of my images. I did not find a way other ones to access. I wish it was a little bit more organized and created, like for example in Midjourney or other areas. Beside all this web interface, you also have a community that you can access through the Discord, and you can notice that some channels here they can ask people. They're very helpful, will give you suggestion, text prompt, and so on. So you have access to the support and to the community through the Discord as well. But you cannot render at the Discord like you do in some other services. We'll come back here when we start comparing our text string and looking. Before we jump over, I want to say that for me, what is make stand out in the DALL-E as an interface, not as a render, as an interface, it is options that you can go inside the image, and you can also just edit this image. So if you don't like something, you can erase and create a permutation with removing that specific element that you don't like it. So this is, to me, it's kind of nice options to have this. As well, uploaded images. It's much easier to use and upload images for generation in DALL-E, not in some other services. So some kind of plus and minuses, how to say it is in this area. But overall, interface is very primitive, but it's simple to use. So let's go next. We're going in the Discord. In Discord, and specifically we're going to work with the Midjourney. Midjourney, it was by invitation, and recently they opened to anybody, so anyone can go join it. And I have several videos, so you can have exactly step by step how to create even account with Discord, how to create an account with Midjourney, how to do all the stuff. It's exactly step by step. If you're interested, links will provide below to those videos, and you can go check them out if you're interested. So when you join this the Midjourney, many people get confused because you get dropped into this very noisy Discord community, and noisy because a lot of people here and they generate it. And you notice I'm here, so I don't have it the newbie. When you new or trial, you will have it additional channels for the news. You can go there and modify it. Well, kind of work with people. Let me see, maybe I have it right here. Nope, I have just general ones. Oh, right here, 7.3 new. So let's go ahead. And when you go inside the new channel, you'll notice problem with this. People start typing prompt, they're creating non-stop, so your stuff starts scrolling up and up, and you can easy to lost. The way you can access, of course, it's going to the inbox, select the mentions, and from there you can access the area where you can see messages, but it will go through all your channels, not just one specifically, and that is a problem hard to find. However, they address this very well in a few different areas. One, when you become the purchase action, when you subscribe to this, you will have options to go to your Midjourney bot, right click and go message, and this is the ability to give you to access your private channel, so nobody else will type in, no scrolling, nothing else. And it's very, very good actually, so you can access and you come back at any time and you can see nothing is there disappearing or scrolling up. This is a huge plus. Besides that, recently they also introduced that you can invite Midjourney bot to your Discord channel. For example, right here I create Gigaplay server and I invite some people, they come, and you can see we can share new people coming, we can type, and it's very nice because it's create your small community. There you can work on specific projects, or you can share the knowledge and other stuff, which is very nice. But this is one side of the Midjourney. Another one big side, and I wish the DALL-E have that, it's app. So if you're going to Midjourney app, you will getting inside your area. If you on a trial, you'll have some limited access like bookmarking and so on. But if you are a subscriber, you have a huge variation and tool, very beautifully done, that you can actually use it. One, first, you can see right here when I access, it have all access to my images that I created. I can search through them, and best parts, of course, I can go inside, I can save them, I can preview prompt, and by the way, I can do this not just on my images, I can do this on community images if I'm interested what prompt was used. Okay, I have it all these options access, and I can bookmark, set like, not like, so I can sort and archive. Beside that, you can see it's a save those tags. I can access by tags, or I can even in mind go and search. Let's go search for SpongeBob. So then you can see right here I can search for my images that I created and access them based on the prompt, which is very, very useful, very easy to find, and they're in one area, one collections. Beside that, you have your community feed, similar somewhat when you're going with DALL-E, except this one is loading and it's monitoring based on what people like it, where is a new top marking and so on. Notice also you have it options to have it bookmark this if you like it, or follow specific creator. So you can have your feed where you can follow to specific creator. You can have it your bookmarks where you can go and just bookmark some images you're interested, so you can come back after and maybe learn how prompt how other people do. So it's kind of nice. And you have additional optional tools for you that help you to create properly prompt, like for example dictionary for the word and styles, so you can use it and so on. As a service, if you have it with a DALL-E pay service where you have it $15 per credit purchase, with a Midjourney you actually have different plans that you can join, and the plans will charge you per monthly. It will notify, you can cancel at any time, you even can subscribe and cancel, so you don't accidentally start charging next month if you don't want it. Very easy to use. And they have it multiple plans like $10, about 200 images. How I say it is a little bit different how they're working, because they're working with the GPU time you consume, and upscale high details will take more GPU time, and smaller take almost no GPU time. So it's kind of say it's in the end about equal, but the best plan what I have so far, it's this $30, which apply the unlimited personal use, that you can use the relax mode, which does not count against your GPU time, when you can pre-render somewhat 1024 by 1000, same like DALL-E. You can render those images for free, and you can render highest images about 2048 by 2048 when it's go against your GPU time. And notice it is much larger resolution than any other services can provide. So more larger resolution is not just a bigger image, it's a more details, more cycles was producing, and you can see definitely big difference when you start rendering in higher scale. So how to say interface, it's definitely much better than with DALL-E and any other services as you see it. I think it's if you working as an artist, concept artist, everything, it's a hands down Midjourney provide the best interface, the easy going through and creating, as well as high resolution, and plus beside that different ratio. So if you need it, you can create portraits, you can have it create a landscape image, whatever you like it, all weird formats it does support it. And we'll look on a text string a little bit later when we come back to all of them. So let's go next. I want to look, it is the stable diffusion. Stable diffusion, it's very interesting type of animal, because it is in the future they want to provide free version so you can run on your own GPU at home, which is a huge plus. It's meaning you don't need to pay service fees. So hopefully eventually you can run on your machine. Currently it's closed beta, invite only by invitation, and they don't charge any money to produce. I do like how they handle requests, because after you put requests you have a timeout like a minute I think or so on, so you cannot just spam with requests. And same like in other ones with Midjourney, you can specify different ratio. For this one you can specify different resolutions. You have a little bit more flexibility versus what you have it with DALL-E. I think all the rest of them have it much more flexibility. And the bad stuff about it is in a beta, so a lot of stuff is not there. It's kind of harder to use because you need to go to the documentation preview, and when you render, you can render only up to 124 by 1024 by 1024, so it's a less resolution than other ones. And you render in all these rooms. So you select room, you're going side, start render, and the problem with this, of course, the people another one stop rendering and your job can be lost. Only way you can easy access, if you go inside inbox, go on mentions, and right here you can see, you can just scroll down and find when it's created for you. So this is another ways to access. Overall, I think it's got a huge room to grow. We'll copy text prompt. It will be our in the second half. We're going through all of them and see who does what, but overall it is have some interface but not as good as other ones. And now we're going to the next one is disk diffusion, which using notepads, and currently I'm running on a collab from there on a Google. What is happening, it's like one huge program. Okay, you download it, people share notebooks. Currently this is 5.6 one I'm running, and from all of them, this one probably the hardest to use, and it's very geeky thing, so a lot of stuff to put it in. And if you are not, so probably will be the hardest of them to use. The only reason if you want to use, because it will be free. What is meaning, you can set up your pad and run. However, you'll notice it is a lot of code, a lot of settings here to create, and tell you true, it's not necessarily render as fast. It's take quite a bit time to render, long time. I see the big plus on this, it is somewhat free, and it is allowed you to, if you like tinker with all these different settings, it's allowed you to do this with your own and keep it very private. So it's only reason I see this. And one big plus compared to all of them, in this way you can actually render animations here. So with the Disco Diffusion on Google, you can set, and I created some animations. I'll put a link below for you to check out with these specifically Disco Diffusions. And it took me a couple weeks. It's take a long time to render that animations, because remember, we're rendering, in this case it was 12 frames per second. It's not fast, but it's still, you need to render quite a bit, a lot of frames. And when you finish render frames, it will save on your Google Drive if you connect to this. And you can see right here I have a lot of different frames was rendered. So after this I need to just go back, run to put this in a video, and it's kind of assemble them together. Right here's my video that I created, but you can see it's need render over and over and over all those images. But it is the make unique from other ones that you could make your animations in Disco Diffusion when you run this way. Okay, so that is kind of overview. And by the way, this is have almost all interface what you wanted with Disco Diffusion. It's what you see. You have parameters, you have your code if you want to preview what is done on end. Your text string, you just go around and press, put it right there. And when it's diffused, it's just showing your image on the bottom, of course, and will also save on your Google Drive. It's realistically, technically, it's not that hard to use, because all what you need to do, it is just run setup, and it's easy. Just click on a button, setup, change some parameters. I found a few videos online if you're interested. That is not bad. Usually you just need to change parameter. Where do you want to save? Just maybe change what height, width, resolution you want to use it, and go through the step, each step at one time. Click in, change prompt, text prompt, and it's done deal. So it will start rendering. I did find sometimes problem when I have different images that I needed reset container or so on, but it's very much more related to the technical problems, and they actually can be resolved. Is not bad at all. The only things, yeah, right here I have some problem. I think it's the keyframe was disabled, so I need to enable because animation is enabled. And let's run the animation again. So there you go. So that is solved. And of course, when you're done with this settings, you can go ahead and start diffuse. That's what I call diffuse the work, and you'll see it image render. I won't show you how it's rendering because it's actually will take quite a bit time to render, but you'll notice it will create some images based on my string that I put it in. Okay, so overall here's a overview a little bit on interfaces. So far I will say that Midjourney, it's a winner for definitely winner for our interface and everything. So it is the best way to go. Second one is probably will be DALL-E 2, and you'll have some primitive interface here, very basic, not primitive, sorry, basic interface. You will have it in DALL-E 2, and of course the two other ones, they kind of fighting, because one you will have it simple Discord with a lot of stuff going on, a little bit hard to access, or another ones you can have it your own interface, but you can run only one image at a time, and it's very hard to sometimes to go with all the settings. It's overwhelming, most correct probably word, overwhelming. So let's go ahead right now. We'll look on the prompts, text prompts. So as text prompt going, I did run some prompt before to save on the time, and I'm just going through this prompt inside the DALL-E 2. We'll go compare to Midjourney. We're going to compare to the Stable Diffusion, and we'll compare some of them to the Disco Diffusion. However, Disco Diffusion not all was comparable because it will take sometimes quite a bit time to render, and you will see the different. I will show you the strong ports, a portion of this, and some weakness. Okay, let's go ahead, and first you can see right here with DALL-E we render, and this is hard to see what it is, but you can read. It is about 100,000 robots fighting in forest. H.I. Ginger. And if you're not familiar with this artist, he did concept art like for the Alien movie and other things. Ultra high detail, photorealistic art tray, station training. This is options is very useful if you work with Mid-Journey, but I did not find anything that related inside the DALL-E 2. The reason is, I think it's a reference. If you're not familiar how the engine work, you can see like right here, you begin with a simple purring noise, and after this have it cycles. When it starts, AI kind of comparing, like, you know, artists doing eyes and compared to some other arts based on text, does it look like that, and so on. I think what with DALL-E 2, it is using some other one access, and the Mid-Journey will reference like ArtStation, what is popular there. Does look more like that style, so it's a little bit different, and I don't think it's actually useful inside the DALL-E 2. But overall, you can see the images right here we created. Honestly, I'm very disappointed with what it did, because it does not look like a kind of robot. It's a messy. You can, if I don't tell you it is robots, you look on this and you don't know what these armors look like, steel or something, so you will not see what it is. Just in comparison, what Mid-Journey does with exactly the same string, you can see right here we have, let's go check. Okay, so let's go ahead and check what the Stable Fusion can does. Okay, we're going right here, we'll go switch, let's go down to this. And it also did not bad job. It is not exactly style, does not look like paint was, but it is keeping actual identify style is abstract. And notice what's happening. I did use it the name of the abstract artist, but I did not specify anywhere it is abstract art. So it's actually very nice to validation how the well going and watch for the style of the artist, so it can preview, and actually did very good job. Okay, now let's go check on our preview inside the Mid-Journey as well. And Mid-Journey actually, okay, where's my abstract painting? You know what, well, what are we going to do? We'll just go take this name. It's one way too easy to find. We'll go there and just type this name. So we'll go ahead and find what art does. And this is actually done by Mid-Journey, and you can see it did perform very well. You can see how paint, it's a little bit different. It's probably have access to different art to compare, but it is somewhat identifiable, and it's abstract. However, it is not totally in a style in the abstract art. From all of them, I say DALL-E performed the best to match styles of the artist in this case versus all those two other ones applications. So the next, let's go check I would also Portal, and from Portal is this is end of the restaurant at the end universe actually. So this DALL-E representation, and honestly I was real disappointed how it's come up. It's horrible. It just, you know, I don't know, it's very, very bad how it's rendered, not realistic at all, very bad colors, everything. Let's go check what we have with this one. Okay, we'll go check what our Stable Fusion did with the same strings, and you can see some it's kind of messed up. It's tried to create something interesting, but it did kind of mess up a little bit. So, but at least it's tried, and sometimes kind of weird because it's just cut two images. Yes, it does not good as well. Okay, so let's go ahead now, and we're going to find restaurant. Let's go check. Oops. And of the universe we find here, and this one definitely create way more interesting look. Of course, I create a little bit more variations in this case, but generally you can see all of them was kind of tried to blend. Even on the first one, permutation, if we look on this, it's already, you can see burgers, kind of tables. This is very nice restaurant, more colorful, kind of very interesting way how it's put it together. So I think in this case, if we look on that, it's definitely with these strings, the Mid-Journey produced a little bit better result in this case. Okay, so next let's go look, and I have plenty different ones, so we'll go very fast. This is a portal. It did not does not do very bad job. However, Stable Fusion did a little bit worse job in this case. Okay, right here we can see this Stable Fusion. It's okay, but it's almost like kids drawing or very primitive illustrations. And Portal, I think the Mid-Journey without question did way better job in this case. So it's look more interesting, more complex, and putting in details. And of course the resolution does help, you know, tell you the truth, just to even for representation, it's work a little bit better that way. We have also the Cyberpunk Street. This is done from DALL-E 2, and you can see it's not bad. Again, my huge disappointment, it's amount of details. It's look very simplistic, no details, small details, nothing. It's just very primitive, like a rough concept art. That's what I will say, very basic, which is okay. At least the representation, coloring, and other stuff going on. Then when we look in, okay, right here you can see this one's done a little bit better job, and actually they do way, yeah, I think this is way better than DALL-E 2, the Stable Fusion. And the best thing is because this is 124, but if you're going to upscale even to the Stable Fusion, you go to upscale to DALL-E 2 resolution, because this is 1024. Let's go open this one. You can see how much details here, and this is what I was expecting. I was honestly expecting from DALL-E 2 to produce at least this amount, small details, all that stuff, and I was really disappointed on DALL-E 2 how much details it's putting in. It's very primitive creating for me. So this one, and of course if we're going to Cyberpunk, okay, let's go Cyberpunk on the Mid-Journey. Now let's scroll right here. I think these are some other ones. Nope, it will be on the bottom, these ones. So you can see amount of here, it is way more interesting to create it. Same string, but you can see how much details. Sometimes honestly I think the Mid-Journey have too much details, so I need actually using light version, and you can do this with, you can actually specify how much details. But right here you can see it is trying, it's more as I'm using in the backdrops for my work. This is just look amount of kind of teeny tiny details almost is going, you know, overlap, and compare again with DALL-E that is very blocky, like almost no details, very primitive concept art style. Just maybe you need to have it about 3-4 more steps in detalizations before you do that. Okay, this one probably will be the most disappointing to me when I did it, because I put it, I want Sandman portrait with a sand twirl around all the stuff, and I specify this gun specifically for DALL-E 2 string. So I was trying to descriptive all the stuff, and it's kind of try to then see man, you see the swirling, so you see all of this inside, and but I don't see actually the style gender, but okay, I can see some of those elements. So, and if I'm looking, that is okay. But if we're going with a Stable Fusion on that one, and Stable Fusion did produce, but it's produced in, okay, where are you? I think it's something below maybe. It did produce, yeah, it's another area, way worse. So Stable Fusion produces worse than this, and you know what we can do as I'm speaking. Let me do this way. So I'm going to copy this string. We'll go Stable Fusion because story. We'll go dream about this, okay? And we'll render 4 versions so we can compare with what we had before. And till it's rendering, let's go ahead and look how it did perform with our Midjourney. Sandman. Let's go look on the sand. Yeah, we don't sending. Sandman. There you go. And definitely Midjourney did way better. So it's a look at this. It's a beautiful. We have it style, degenerate. We have it all the swirls. We have it. Look on this Sandman coming up. So definitely the style and all these words is applied way better in translation here. So there you go. This is our kind of Sandman. Of course, we didn't mess up with face, but I want to be sure. Here you got a style here, and I want to be sure it's a sand twirl around. You can see how it's working. I think this is produced very well. Okay, so let's go back to check what is our this produce, and we'll jump in, and you can see it. I'm sorry, but this is so primitive. It's just compare, seriously, just compare this art and to this. Okay, you cannot, I mean, it definitely need a rework. Or compare this, what we put on the string word, with this. Okay, so it's does not perform. Something it does good, something it doesn't. And again, it's all based on what you train, what is in the train. It's why same string, same text prompt can be totally different, and all is different. And of course, the one thing what I did it's uploaded new the image, this original. So I uploaded this one, and its permutation was creating. One thing I need to say, DALL-E did the best job, because other ones don't allow you to upload images, or if you're using, you can use images with the Midjourney, but it is using them differently, so it result would not even come closer to what you see here. And overall, this is what I want kind of showing you a little bit about my test run with test strings, see which one perform what. And this has helped me to identify strings of each AI generation, and that is based on what library they train to, how they can perform. And I found out that DALL-E 2 probably the best to create photorealistic look. Okay, they're not so good on some illustrations or concept. They're very well in some areas with a classic art. They can go and follow through. However, they have problems with detalizations in some cases, so I will need to play a little bit more with the words in the asset. It's kind of need to define how the engine will take and disassemble my string of the words and try to work with this. But general, that is what DALL-E 2 is string is. Midjourney have a big string with creating all of this cool illustrations, nice look. And sometimes you may get lucky to create a nice looking face, you know, it's still be, and it's portraits, it's incredibly increased. For example, when I did a lot of portraits, and you know what, let me find if I have scrolled down a little bit fast, and you can see, by the way, this is all publicly accessed, so you can actually go and access and see my experiments with a Midjourney. And I'll need it to re-enable something with other stuff, but okay, let me scroll down. Okay, but you can see also Midjourney did improve quite a bit with the portrait creations, so it does have some realistic portraits. You can create all the stuff. It's still be in more going towards illustration type, but it is the symmetrical, the much improvement than before. If you have the first version, you remember the eyes was horrible and all the stuff. So it does produce this. So they all have their own strings. With the Stable Fusion, the big plus it will be eventually the open source. So you can run on your own home GPU and you can achieve. Some is coming very definitely have problems to render. Some is real impressive what it does. Like for example, this one, I'm really impressed how well this one was done. Okay, so something very nice. They also do very nice illustration and so on. So it's have a very powerful application, and I say it's a more adjustment everything, but as creation it's may catch up with the Mid-Journey, and Mid-Journey definitely creating more towards concept artist, concept art. It's towards illustrations, towards all this very beautiful fantasy sci-fi looking. I mean, they have it all their own things, and depend probably what you're looking for. You may be going address to those specific engines that AI what you want to use it. Thank you for watching this video, and if you find it useful, please give it a thumbs up. If you find not useful, 2 thumbs up, okay, so I'll know. Please subscribe, click on this button notification, so it's helped me to know if you like this video. If you want to see more video like this, I do preparing specific videos about going with prompt optimizations and other stuff for specifically Mid-Journey, and because you'll notice how the same prompt work differently on different engines, so you kind of need to almost polish and kind of adjust positioning of the words so it's get the best out of the specific area. So I will have this video going with a prompt about Mid-Journey, how to use it there, and also let people know if you like this video. If you have questions, please post, let me know. Thank you for watching. Okay, so right here it's Mid-Journey. We can preview singles. Let's go switch to the little bit size. And one thing, keep in mind that DALL-E, it's 1024 by 1024, the maximum size. If you want larger size, you need to use a different application to upscale this. For example, I use a gigapixel from Topaz. And here you can have it already bigger. You can see right there we have it bigger size just on the width, and the height it's 124. So we can go about 2048 by 2048 maximum. As we compare style, these ones versus DALL-E, and let's compare here. This is our DALL-E style, and this is the Mid-Journey, and you can see definitely, you can see this alien effect. It's look like aliens, and you definitely can recognize robots and creating, and text was again robots fighting in a forest. So let's go again to our DALL-E, and you can kind of see forest, but I think it's very abstract, not as a clean. I maybe need to tweak more with the strings of the text inside DALL-E, and I found out between all of those different type of the service, you actually needed little bit specify more work with the strings. It's meaning where you place it, what words it does matter. It's how it translated AI in the end. When they take the string, they cut the parts and they start reassign to those zones to how it's try to render or access. It's anyway, we won't go on technical, but point is this composition of the strings is important for the AI, and it's kind of preferred in its own way. But general overall right here, even with the strings, you can see it is definitely look much better, more up to style that I specify in what it is in Mid-Journey than in DALL-E. So let's go right now look on a Stable Fusion, and Stable Fusion will go access, and it's actually not bad at all. So if we look on the originally a bit bigger, you can see it creates somewhat force. It's very stylized, and actually it is stylized in the way the artist does. If you see his work before, and here just example, this is work, you can see stylizations actually how it's done. So if we look on the stylizations and we're going back to this, you can see it's very actually done not bad at all with his stylizations. This is again done with Stable Diffusion, and there's a little bit more. Let's go click on and jump to the preview. So this is for images preview, and you can see these stylizations. Definitely it's look not bad in this case. I do prefer photorealism a little bit more what was done with the Mid-Journey, but again it is as art stylization, it's not bad at all. And let's go And when I put it in the Disco Diffusion, it's still processing, so maybe later kind of going over this, but right now we just compare there, we render them. Okay, let's go next. We're going to compare to the painting, and this is what specifically I was looking for: perfect storm, large wave, and I wrote this for DALL-E specifically. But notice right here, when you write it is perfect storm, large wave, heavy stormy clouds, struggling ships, all the stuff, rocky cliff. This is description I put it, but right there, Ivan Avazovsky. So this is the guy who drew in Russia. He did all of this painting, beautiful painting of the oceans. And I want to be sure it's kind of put his name and says what style I want to use. So just to compare, this is his art, oil painting, and you can see the kind of water, ocean. He did a lot of this kind of seascapes and other stuff. So this is put it in. Also applied, I want to be sure it's oil painting, high details, realistic. It did a little bit better job. Okay, it's kind of more, you can define waves. I think it's still be kind of very low resolution. I'm seriously disappointed with details. I was expecting from DALL-E 2 to produce much better details effect. Okay, and so far when I was testing this, they actually was almost going down below even well below stable diffusion. I mean, it seriously was disappointing. Let's go see what we have with our profile here. Let's go to home and we'll look on ocean. This is example was rendered by the Midjourney, and you can see on small already how much details. Of course, to be fair, I was doing 4 by the square. It's what Disco Diffusion can do, which is about same, but you can see right here, this is the render a little bit larger resolution, and we can go higher than in Disco Diffusion. But even on that size, you can see amount of details. You can see all of this. Sometimes actually I need to reduce details when I do with the Midjourney because it's produced too much. But we have a beautiful grain, we have all these details applied, and waves look way better inside. However, one thing I need to tell DALL-E when they did the waves, I think it will be like right here. We have it interesting glowing and somewhat translucent a little bit like on this cloud. So it's not bad, but of course compare, and it's personal taste, but compared to this, I think this is look a little bit more to me as a painting with higher details than other ones options. And let's right now just compare to our stable diffusion, and let me scroll down, find where it was created, and we'll come back. We'll look on all of this that I was rendered, some of them interesting. Okay, and where's my where ocean? Right here, there you go. So we'll go jump to this one, and to the ocean. You can see this one actually probably produced the worst of all, because it's almost like very smudgy. Does not, the translucent on the waves is kind of nice with lighting, but it's very smudge, very does not clean, very muddy look. Just example, I did this process with a Disco Diffusion, and here what Disco Diffusion come up with, you can see this is nice beautiful details. Actually I like in Disco Diffusion, and I'm sure if I tweak a little bit more with the settings I probably can produce even better. But general look on the quality of details, it's nice, crisp, well done. So this is Disco Diffusion processing, but this one Disco Diffusion, it took me about hour or so on to produce. How to say it is a little bit different, longer running. So overall I will say again Midjourney probably will have it number 1 for me place. Next it will be the Disco Diffusion, and after this DALL-E 2 because a little bit more details, and the Stable Diffusion will be number 4. So again, it's for me personally least on the keeping on styles. The one thing I noticed that from all of them, Disco Diffusion, the Midjourney, it's one of the better one for stylizations, how it's performed and everything does. So this one, again, I was testing only on a 3 skip disco diffusion. It was a beautiful dark magician girl, and actually interesting because the other ones come up very similar look, except for the DALL-E 2. DALL-E 2 give me this darker kind of interesting, it's not bad, it's interesting look image. Okay, creating this one. And if we look, for example, on stable diffusion, and you maybe saw already some of purplish kind of pop up. Where are you? Let's go scroll down. So right here, this one, let's go jump. And this one is for the stable diffusion. They're not bad. Sometimes they cut head off, you know, you'll need specify, but it definitely look a little bit more recognizable, more, somewhat cartoonishy. But if we look, it's beautiful dark magician girl, full body, ultra detail, so it's kind of going more anime style, I think, with a stable diffusion. If we look with Midjourney did more interesting. Again, it's same somewhat style was which kind of interesting, but if we look on details, it does produce very nice high details, but we have a big problem with Midjourney again, and they did improve quite a bit on the portraits and other things, but I did find it's still messing up on the figurines, and you can see right here it's a big mess with the head and everything. Overall look okay, but we have a huge mess on the middle with the face. But I do like amount of details it's tried to put it in. Again, to compare with DALL-E, we can see it's different styles, but it does look very interesting. Again, a little bit mess up on the face here. This is too blurry, kind of look very weird. And the same problem we have a little bit with the face. Okay, so the next one I want to compare, I want to just have it realistic portrait of old man, short beard, very messy hair, sitting on a couch. Okay, I misspelled, so we'll see. But it is pick up that, which kind of very interesting to see how AI will translate misspelling. On TV, crushed pop cans, pizza, volumetric lights, high resolution, very high details. And actually DALL-E did very good job. You can see right here we have it sitting, somewhat looking on old man. I did still a little bit disappointed with how realistic details it's not come up. I was expecting from DALL-E to have it way better details, and it's probably I need to spend more time to learn more about DALL-E 2, what is used and all this other stuff, because this is just a prompt. Type in prompt and see what's going on. Okay, so in this one, let's go right now check our Midjourney, and you can see Midjourney produce quite a bit details to the point I says, okay, how about I make this a little bit bigger, because other one's 1024. So right here I made one that is actually 1024 by 1024, and you can see on details it is look a bit more kind of illustrated, but we miss some details. We do have it in main, we do have some crush pizza box and other ones, but I want to look just on the portrait in this case, and you can see it is actually not bad. It's very interesting, messy hair, it's pick up the short beard, so it did pick up some stuff. Of course, we have some messing up going on with the eyes. You know, all the guys does not mess with the eyes, just look at me. Problem with DALL-E, not DALL-E, sorry, problem with Midjourney I find many times when you do portrait, it's like to stick another set of eyes or mouth in another area to make little mutants. So right here, I think what's happened with the neck, we have like almost second beard growing or something going on there. Okay. So that is with this, and let's go look on a stable fusion, see what we have with the old guys. And you probably saw when I was scrolling down, we have some of this. Okay, and right there, let's go look. And this one actually produced quite a bit good result. I think it's the best result almost from all of them. Okay, where am I? I think I just clicked jump, but something is overriding my jump. Okay, let's go back to find our old guys. Jump to our settings right here. There you go. So you can see they're actually not bad how it's created. It is photorealistic. There we have even pizza with crushed cans. I don't know who want to eat this, but it's here. And it did actually a very good job on this. So from all of them, even other ones in our Mid Journey, it's kind of nice illustrations. But if we're going for the realism, Stable Diffusion definitely did a better job on this than other ones. And let's go look what we have with our Disco